All right, so welcome you to the program. The name of the program is Housing Development. And we're looking at the Nigerian housing sector. Very soon Nigeria will be 60 after independence. So how would you grade the performance of the housing sector?
Well, the housing sector in Nigeria has really not performed to expectation. I would say, sadly, like the rest of the country, because at the age of 60, we still have 17 million housing deficit, between 17 million to 20 million. The housing sector and the mortgage sector contribution to GDP is very, very, very low. I mean, we have stories of countries like Brazil in 1960 building 300,000 houses, for their people in terms of mass housing, and we're still struggling to deliver 10,000 houses a year as a country. So we are dismally very, very poor, and we need to do something very, very radical to bring up the contribution of housing, to the GDP, because it's a very, very important asset class sector in terms of employment, in terms of the value chain. The contribution to the economy is just as high as agriculture or oil and gas or any of the minerals, commodities that we've been living on all these years, as a source of revenue, as a source of employment, as a source of security for people. Shelter is one of the most basic needs for human beings, and as a country, we have not even started when it comes to that.
Well, you scored the Nigerian housing sector very poor, and you said we need to do something very radical, something urgent. What will be your solution? What will be your advice when it comes to that?
Well, I mean, for me personally, if to advise the government, one of the emergency measures we can take immediately now is to, for example, remove all import tariffs and duties, taxes on all housing inputs that we bring into this country. And the people that are into manufacturing inputs like sanitary fittings, roof, tiles, we need to give them incentives, remove taxation and everything, all in a bid to bring down the prices. Because one of the key components of the cost of housing today is all the inputs. We don't make much in this country. Most of the things that we have are imported, and between import duties, tax, tariffs and everything, so you end up paying twice. You pay VAT, you pay import duty when you are bringing it in, and then when you are selling it, there's import duty and VAT. So by the time it comes to the final consumer, the price is already too high, and then it's prohibitive, the cost of setting up these factories in this country to do this business. So we need to give incentives, just as we give in agriculture, for people to start making housing inputs, in Nigeria, to bring down the prices. And of course, there's a need for land reform. Access to land is still very, very expensive, and if you don't bring access to land to the common man, and then titled land that can be used as collateral, because the mortgage sector today is not well developed, because one of the challenges we have is with title and with land. And then we need to seriously link the financing of real estate. So we need to do bonds, to finance real estate. We need to do large scale bonds of ₦1 trillion and above, to fund real estate development in terms of mortgages to consumers, and to developers, so that the whole sector will be liquid and be well funded.
All right, let's look at the private sector. What has been their input all these years? So we still have more than 17 million housing deficit in the country. Well, how would you grade their input? Are they performing?
Well, we are performing, because I'm part of the private sector. Because at the end of the day, when you look at all the challenges associated with acquisition of land, compensation, the high, always increasing cost of inputs, cost of doing business in this country, honestly, you have to give it to us, the private sector, that have remained in housing, and we're trying our utmost best always to come up with innovative products to bring the housing dream very close to the ordinary Nigerian. So I will score private developers or private participants in housing in Nigeria very, very high, for staying the course, for even having the interest, despite all the challenges, to participate and also advocate, because, there's always a constant advocacy by the participants of this sector, the private participants, to government, to say these are our issues. We can do this, we can bring down this housing deficit, but we need X, Y, Z. And they've not been tired. They've been doing this for 60 years. So I think we'll score our contributions. Private developers in Abuja here, we have some that are building 5,000, 10,000 houses without any input from government. It's not an easy thing to do. So we have to commend private developers and urge them to, probably weed out the bad eggs amongst us that are giving the industry a bad name, to uphold standards of quality, assurance, and integrity. Those are the areas that we need to work on, and also continue to unite in our advocacy towards the government, the public sector, to ensure that reforms are made that will bring us closer to the dream of housing in Nigeria.
All right, so on a final note, I want to use the opportunity to wish Nigeria at 60 your congratulatory message. Wish them happy independence celebration.
Happy birthday, Nigeria. I'm very, very proud to be a Nigerian. I would not have it any other way. We don't have any other country other than Nigeria, and we must remain in Nigeria and salvage it together. We are better together as a country. We have so many advantages. If we unite and pool our resources together, we can be one of the best countries in the world. We are blessed by God, and I think we need to do our part as human beings. Happy birthday.